Oh, that's
Can
disgusting.
you see all that?
Yeah, it just spilled all over the table, Sydney. Of course I saw it. I'm Anthony, and joining me today is Miss Sydney Bray-Gwen.
Yep.
For the Detail Factory segment. And so there's a lot to cover here. There's a lot to brush up on if you're picking up what I'm putting down. I'm not sure if people heard, but last year around SEMA time, we as the Rag Company and Detail Factory merged together. So we are now one in the same, and that opens up so many possibilities for the future in product creation for detailing. So basically our expertise in detailing and towels and processes paired with Detail Factory's engineering and their plastic abilities and all sorts of stuff is going to turn into what could be some of the best accessories coming to the market. And 2026 is going to get pretty crazy. So in front of us here, we have an array of brushes.
Yeah.
And brushes, if you know, you're not aware, in detailing are very important.
Yes,
right?
very important.
So interior, exterior detailing, brushes are, again, one of the things that we will gravitate towards along with the appropriate chemical. And so, Sydney, you have your own set of favorite brushes that you really like to use and things that you gravitate towards. But we also have some cool colors here on the table. So talk me through, when you're detailing in the shop, what are some of the things that you use brushes for the most?
Yeah, so obviously wheels and tires is a big one. Interior cleaning, I mean, there's so much stuff that you use them for. You know, carpets, seats, barrel, I mean, everything. I use them on every part of the car probably. Yep. You know, every nook and cranny. I think for me, what's cool about the Detail Factory brushes is over the last few years, you know, colors have become very much part of like shop and brand identity, right? And so it's definitely a way for us to, I mean, kind of like convey our vibe, right? And so obviously my vibe space is the white and teal and black. So I love everything that we have on the table today. I don't know, it just makes it funner. But you know, obviously the brushes with their handles and the bristles and stuff, they're just absolutely fantastic. But I do love that it's like a extension of our brand by being able to use the colors.
When it comes to brushes, especially in the detailing world, brushes and materials have to be created to withstand the chemicals being used. Yeah. They have to be able to withstand the agitation, the constant agitation, also the dry wet cycles that a lot of these brushes go through, whether they're living in your bucket and then drying out and then back into a bucket again. So what makes Detail Factory ultimately different, everything has been so well thought of from start to finish when we think of how do these brushes perform with high pH chemicals? How do these brushes perform with acidic chemicals? How does the actual bristle stay in the brush itself, right? So we have some brushes in front of us and we're gonna be doing a quick little wheel cleaning just right here on the table with this wheel behind me, and I think that that's gonna be pretty exciting.
Dirty.
It is pretty dirty.
Yeah.
And normally we would want to probably break out pressure washer and stuff, but since this facility is being very well used right now, we kind of have to find our own corner and slice of heaven to make this possible. So what we're going to do is go ahead and pre-spray this with, it's kind of a water rinseless mix, but we're going to get some liquid on here and just do a quite quick light mist just to make sure we have a decent amount of moisture. Now from here, we can go ahead and take, let's just say, one of our favorite wheel cleaners and one of our favorite tire cleaners here from Armor Detail Supply. Taking my tire cleaner here, we're gonna go ahead, apply this around the outside edge of the tire, try to get some good coverage, and then we're gonna take our wheel cleaner and give some nice quick mists. Now, Sydney, you are kind of you're locked and loaded over here, ready to do some brush cleaning, right? So we'll be able to clean.
I'm ready to clean up the mess you make.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. We're all on the same page. I love it. Yeah. So what we're going to go ahead and do is take our tire scrubbing brush. So Detail Factory has a couple different tire scrubbing brush options for sizing. So this is obviously in the cool black and white color scheme, but you're going to have a smaller brush and a larger brush. Now, different strokes for different folks. So if you're working with off-road tires or just bigger tires in general more consistently, that's where the larger brush is going to make a lot of sense. But if you're dealing with really slim tires, racing tires, things like that, where you're not wanting to get some overlay of the bristles, then you can use the smaller size here. I really like the smaller size. I think it's going to be the perfect fit for this. And the bristles are, again, they're going to be aggressive enough to be able to scrub your tire, but not so aggressive where they're going to damage anything. And so some people think out there with tire scrubbing that you have to have the stiffest bristle brush. That's not necessarily the case. You want something that's going to have a little bit of flex to it, but just have good bite and be able to actually start cleaning something with the appropriate cleaner. So I'm going to go ahead, do a quick little dip in here, and then I personally like to pre-treat my brush, right? There's people out there that say this is wrong. They say, what does Anthony do that for, right? I do this because I like it, and it makes me feel all fuzzy inside, right? So I get a little bit of foam on there, and I can go ahead and get this going here on the wheel or on the tire and start agitating that.
One thing I want to mention about the bristles too, because you kind of touched on it, is, you know, if they can damage surfaces. And I think that that's an important thing, like not only from, I always kind of gauge things and the quality in which I buy, like on price per use. Like I'm willing to spend a couple bucks extra if I'm gonna get more uses out of it. But I think what's important too is that I've actually seen in some of these crazy detailing groups online is that people are damaging interior surfaces with, you know, the wrong brushes or the wrong bristles. And I think that's what I love about the synthetic bristles on the Detail Factory brushes is if you think about it from an insurance standpoint, it actually is saving you a lot of money when you really can't damage a surface with the high quality bristles. So it's definitely, for me, that's something I definitely look for in the bristles, is to not be, you know, something cheap that's gonna scratch and, you know, mar up the surface that then I'm either gonna have to pay to fix or take out an insurance claim. So
correct. And I want to show really quick here with Jimmy's cam. What's nice about having a bristle with a little bit of flex too is that I can actually take this brush and get right up to the edge of that lip there and kind of get into that hard to reach area, right? Without necessarily having to scrub or hit that outside edge. So I can run this through kind of like a paintbrush and be able to get in there and kind of dislodge a lot of that dirt and grime really, really easily. Now, some people, again, they can't really do that with really stiff bristle brushes. So this brush is kind of dirty, so
yeah, go ahead and
I'm gonna,
drop it in there.
okay. Drop it in there.
So what do we have? We have here the Detail Factory clean screen. So what I want you guys to watch as we go through and clean this wheel is we're gonna get all the dirt and grime, and it's actually gonna end up sinking to the bottom of this bucket over, you know, the next couple minutes, which is really nice.
You can actually start seeing a lot of that stuff
we'll
start falling off down below there.
And what's cool is once we get a good layer down there, we'll show you how you can't even, you know, stir it up and the dirt, debris, brake dust, it won't come back up through the clean screen, which is really awesome.
I don't know if you can even see, Jimmy, there's a shot of just some black particulates and things like that kind of came there through the bottom and fell and are sitting now below the clean screen there, which is pretty cool. So all that there just came from the brush, and dropping that down in there, you can see it released all of that, and that will not stir back up as I start doing this. So you can see it's all
falling down.
It's all falling, but it is not going back up into the clean screen. So pretty cool shot, good visual of that.
So cool. Now, what do you like to do the wheel face? I'm like a curveball girl myself, but
yeah, no, so this is, I think this is put on a pretty good show right now. I'm actually pretty happy about that. So I'm actually just gonna knock out the barrels really quick, right? So some people do barrels first, some people do barrels last. I'm gonna go ahead and take the barrel brush mini from Detail Factory here and get that wet a little bit. And normally we'll have some soap in a bucket, but we wanted to keep that clear so you guys could see things falling off there. And we'll go ahead and take this and start getting into that barrel. We'll start pulling out a lot of that muck. These barrels have not been cleaned in a very, very long time.
very long time.
Oh, I mean, I doubt that. Maybe these barrels have ever been cleaned, right? So we'll go through, get that agitated.
I wish we had a pressure washer at the end.
And you can actually see how bad that brush is. So I'm gonna get a little bit more moisture in there, make sure we're not damaging anything. And then get that. We can actually do another dunk in here. So this is gonna release a lot of nastiness. Oof. Look at that. That is turning into some murky water there.
Yeah.
But that's okay. And we're gonna take this again, go through, get a couple spritzes here into the barrels themselves, and I'll speed this up. So we'll leave some time for questions and some extra brush cleaning, because there's gonna be some brush cleaning accessories that we wanna highlight as well. Get in there, get in here. Now, the Wheel Brush Mini is probably going to be the size that's going to fit for most people on their barrels, but it's really going to depend on your rotor clearance, because certain rotors are going to be really tight up to that barrel, and if that's the case, then you need to make sure that you know, you can probably fit this in there. The larger size is going to be more ideal for trucks or something with this amount of sizing, but the Mini is probably the most popular if you're looking for a good safe bet for your aggressive wheels and or brake rotors. So go ahead and call that good there, and then I'm going to dunk this, and this is starting to get pretty soupy here. Look at that falling, right? That's actually really cool to see. It's like a storm happening underneath that clean screen there. So
okay, now I do need you to get one of these dirty.
Okay, so you want me to use this one? Okay, I'm gonna use this one on the lug nuts. Let's do that. So get that just a little wet here. Go ahead and take this. Now, the synthetic bristles on Detail Factory's brushes, these are extremely chemical resistant. I cannot emphasize that enough. These can withstand pretty much any chemical that you throw at them, and they will never really get damaged. It's a synthetic bristle type, so it's not like a natural boar hair bristle, but being synthetic, it is going to be extremely soft. Some people say that kind of feels like a makeup brush, but this particular bristle cleans out extremely well, and we'll show you what that looks like here. So we'll go ahead, oof, look at that. That is nasty. That is really nasty. You can shove this in, and these bristles do have a good memory to them. So even if you really just get them all crazy looking, right? The second that you dunk them back here, they will relearn their existing memory and get back to where they need to be. Go through, clean that off, and then if you want to, you can get to the nooks and crannies of your corners if you feel like you have an aggressive setup, or even if I want to knock out the brake caliper here. But for the rest of the wheel face, I'm going to jump straight to
This one?
Let's get the wheel face brush, yeah. So this is going to be the wheel face brush. So this is also going to be like a flag tip nylon bristle, and the flag tip is extremely important because what's happening is we're splitting the end of a bristle to basically make it softer and finer and more refined to where it's going to be safer on most wheel finishes. Now, this is 100% safe, there's no questioning that, but when you get to gloss black wheels, especially soft gloss black, black powder coat, you just want to do a small test area to make sure that'll be okay, but yeah, gloss black wheels in general are just really kind of difficult, and for that, if you have any question to whether or not it's safe, you jump to the curveball here, which I'll show you that here in a second. So go ahead, do a quick little dunk here in our very, very murky water now, and grab that, pre-treat this, and then we'll go through and show you how you can agitate this. Perfect, so that's doing a good job, and then I'll show you kind of the difference here with what that would look like with the synthetic curve ball. I'm wearing a little bit of this right now because the angle, normally I'm out my knees and I'm like, but right when it's right on me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start wearing some of this stuff. So we'll go ahead and take the curve ball and show you what this looks like. Again, I can take a little bit of product here into my brush. I think I grabbed the tire cleaner when I did that last time, didn't I? So you can take this, go through, and this is really, if you guys have never used this as a wheel cleaning brush, it feels wrong because you think it's such a nice brush, it's too nice for your wheels, but this is one of those brushes that, again, most people think is so nice that they never end up using it because they're afraid to get it dirty. I'm telling you, get it dirty, it will clean out, it will be back to new almost every single time. I wouldn't worry about that because you see that, how much buildup is there? That is actually gonna get back to almost like new again.
Well, and worth noting, so this is obviously my favorite wheel cleaning brush. I use it all the time, and I have yet to damage one. Yeah. You know, like every time I clean it, it looks nearly brand. I mean, like 95%, right? Like nearly brand new.
Totally. Get some dirt. There we go. Okay, there you go.
Awesome. Perfect.
I'll hand you that.
Very cool.
And then I'll just do a quick little light rinse just to get some of the cleaner off of this. But I think your job now, Sid, is to show people how to clean these things.
Yeah. So actually last year at TRCMA, we launched the brush cleaner from Detail Factory. This, like literally from minute one, became one of my very favorite tools in my shop. I've done a lot of videos on this. I'm literally obsessed with this thing. But so most of you know, like a lot of us are good about rinsing our brushes out in our wash bucket and kind of cleaning them right there. They don't always get 100% clean, but if you work in a shop or have kids that work in your shop like me, they leave the brushes like this. So they will literally just let them dry with the dirt in them and you know, they don't care. So that's where this comes in and is so amazing. So what you're gonna do, this has a bunch of different spikes in it that are gonna help you know, pull all the dirt and debris out of the brush. It's gonna clean the bristles. So what I like to do is I'm just gonna use tire cleaner from Armor. I use this because it is so good at breaking down, you know, the grease and grime, right? So it's like the most effective. You can use almost any cleaner in here that you like though. I've used just regular car soap, I've used an APC, and then if your brush is not already wet, I usually dunk it in water. And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna put this in your hand and you're gonna move that brush around and it's gonna really get those bristles. It almost like some of them will go all the way up to the handle. And so they're pulling all of that dirt and debris. You're gonna make a nice little slurry in there. So good.
Yep.
So good. Just keeps foaming, right?
And it's very
so
satisfying,
nice. Yeah. And then what we're gonna do is just, I'm usually at a sink when I do this, and I either rinse them out or you can have a, you know, go back in your wash bucket. And here's what's cool is I'm just gonna soak that water out of there, is they are nearly totally clean.
Oh, that's totally bad.
Usually I'll take like the air blower and blow it, but I mean, all of that dirt and debris is out, which is cool. I have done this like a test where I've taken brushes that have been, you know, dirty for 6 months and it still gets them clean. So I'm gonna spray a little bit more. I'm gonna do this brush real quick. And then, so I wanna show you, obviously the curve ball fits in here, but what I think is cool is people always said, well, they need to make one for the tire brush, but I'm gonna show you how the tire brush one works as well. So great, right?
That's awesome.
Now I'm gonna dunk this because I want some of this dirty water out of here. So when you're doing your tire brush, like there's obviously a lot of grease left on that. This works just as well for these. Like it doesn't matter that it's not round. You can still totally do this. I even do it with the big wheel face brushes, like really any brushes. I even clean my makeup brushes, heck.
Yeah, because what happens when you're pressure washing a brush out, right, you're gonna get some stuff, but sometimes you're actually gonna drive some of that grit back down into like the depths of the brush. So doing something like this is really gonna open the bristles up. It's gonna be able to maintain these and oh, that's disgusting.
Can you see all that?
Yeah, it just spilled all over the table, Sydney. Of course I saw it. I'm wearing it right now.
It just, it pulls all that grease and grime out of there, which is
super.
so,
yeah, this thing is
so great. Yeah,
that is.
gnarly.
It was not wearing all of
Gnarly.
what that is a second ago. That's pretty freaking gross.
So we want to get all that out of there. You don't want to keep using, even on your tires, you don't want to keep using a dirty brush because you're just kind of adding to it, right?
Last thing I wanted to cover here is the fender well brushes. So these are super helpful in detailing, whether you're doing trucks, vans, anything with a decent fender gap in there where things are visible. These are amazing. So it's going to be the same flag tip nylon that you're going to see on the wheel face brush, but what's nice is that these right here can really, with the reach, right, with the length of this handle, get back and clean suspension components, clean your coilovers, clean things like that that you normally have to really be putting your hand and arm into. It's not good. You don't want to be wearing everything that you're cleaning. So this is going to give you some more distance there. So just to kind of show you in a very crude way, not rude, but crude, we'll go ahead and get a little bit of moisture here on this. And I think that these are, I think they're carpeted on these ones. Yeah, oh, totally. And so you can just go ahead and get some moisture on there, get some moisture here onto the brush, and then take this and you can see that it is very easy to not have to put my entire arm in here otherwise. Because otherwise I'm in here like this, or I'm in here like this, reaching back in there. It's not ideal. This is gonna be able to get back to those back corners and get all that dislodged there. And then you can run it along this kind of outside edge. And look at all that stuff. Look at, oh, it's like it's raining something. Oh,
well, and we're coming out of winter, obviously. So in a lot of areas, you know, we have salt and sand from the winter. And so I actually use this brush to clean a lot of the, you know, undercarriage and the chassis. It's nice that you can reach, you know, a good amount underneath the vehicle and give it a little scrubby brush. That is really, I don't know if you guys can see what he's knocking down out of there, but it's pretty terrifying. I think we should talk about this color.
Okay. You talk about it, because I think you're more you're really excited about colors. I'm pretty excited about colors, but you are like, this is like, you saw this and you're like.
So this color has made a lot of splash on the internet lately. Everyone's asking where to get it, where it came from. So this is Vermeil special edition. It is purple and teal, which are his signature colors. So cool. I do have a set. I absolutely love it.
You can order it through Vermeil's website if you're over in Europe, or just obviously the Rag Company's website, and they will be on Amazon as far as I know. That is going to be it from us and the coverage of Detail Factory. We appreciate all of you guys. Check out the new colors on the website, the Vermeil limited edition, and more to come this year. It's just going to get crazy, but we appreciate you guys watching and watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Pun intended.